Good morning. This is my second video for YouTube, and yesterday was my first. And yesterday was a long video, 15 minutes, and most people didn't stick around to watch the entire video. So today I'm trying a different approach to this. I want to discuss a different aspect of the domain importation.com. Yesterday there's a domain for sale, importation.com. You buy the website, you buy the business, and make money, okay? All the reasons to buy it, and all the justifications, all the applications, et cetera, et cetera. But I really didn't get to discuss an aspect of the importation business and the website development business that I want to briefly discuss today. I'm going to try to make it briefer than yesterday. I'm going to talk faster. There's going to be less pauses. Hopefully it'll be better and watched more widely. But the concepts I have, in addition to those other concepts that I discussed yesterday, I'm going to discuss about kind of an unorthodox approach to the importation business. And right now, mostly every country has fixed importation tariffs, and they're kind of flat rate. And sometimes it's specifically to certain products, depending on what a particular country might need and what might not need. Or it could just be flat. Everything that crosses the border comes into the country is a flat 10, 20, 15%, whatever it is. I'm suggesting a clearinghouse that's going to be called importation.com. It's going to house representatives from every country on the planet. These representatives are going to have the ability to negotiate tariffs in a one-time application. That's going to deviate from the standard enacted laws that govern importation for any particular country. When negotiation gets involved, now the tariffs become negotiable and incentivized. If you incentivize a tariff, a one-time tariff for a one-time country, a one-time industry in that country, a one-time product, then there could be rewards for both sides of the negotiation. We're not talking about losses of importation tariffs or penalties anymore. We're talking about waivers, and we're talking about incentives. And an incentive could be a political policy change by the person requesting special treatment. And so in a case where we have China and the US and solar, for example, the solar people of a particular producer, possibly, or just the industry of solar panels, contacts the government of China, says, look, we got to do something. I can't sell my solar panels in the US anymore because tariffs have eliminated the margin of profit. And so in my scenario, the Chinese government contacts their agent in this building, the central building where all the representatives for all the countries are. It says, go down the hall, talk to the USA representative. See if you can strike a deal. We've got this guy. He's got a huge amount of solar panels. He's got a huge amount of employees that are going to lose their jobs. We don't want that to happen. And so we are willing, tell the US, we are willing to give you something in return for dropping the tariffs just for this one industry that has a expiration period of 12 months, okay? And so the guy from China walks down the hall, knocks on the door. The guy from the US says, look, we want this special treatment. And my government says they're willing to work with you. So contact your government and see what they want in return for waiving the tariffs for 12 months for one particular industry, not the entire country. And so they work it out. Everyone makes the phone calls. The US comes back and says, we don't want you touching or going anywhere near Taiwan for the next 12 months. So the representative from China gets on the phone, calls, the government back in China and says, look, U.S. says we don't want you anywhere near um, Taiwan for the next 12 months, and we'll give you 12 months to get all your solar panels shipped into the U.S. with no tariff. So Chinese government says, hey, that's great. We're good with that. Look, we weren't even planning on invading Taiwan, for another 5 years. So yeah, we'll take that deal. So what happens? China contacts the solar panel guy and says, look, you owe us $5 million. You're not going to have to pay tariffs if you get everything shipped in the next 12 months. Guy says, great. This is wonderful. Let's do it. So everybody does it. It gets on the news, and everyone's happy. It's great positive news on the nightly news that an exception was made, and the price was that China said, we're not going to invade Taiwan. That's a win-win position for everyone. It's a great positive news story. So that's my idea. But furthering this discussion, I want to mention that I don't think importation should be limited to tangible products. I think there's no reason why non-tangible products that are imported can be subjected to or offered the same type of negotiation. In particular, I don't think there's any reason why labor cannot be treated in the same manner that products are for importing into a country. I think there's money to be made. I think you've got these people in other countries that are unemployed, and they want to go to a different country, earn money, send the money back home, and fill up the banks back home. And I'm talking about skilled labor here. I'm not talking about unskilled labor. Okay, and I'm talking about single people, not people that want to hide in the U.S. or in some other country, France or Germany, and then settle down and make a family. I'm talking about people that are in it for the money, for business. And they're all business, and they want to come in. They've got high skills. They want to go in, do what they do best, make money, move on to the next country. I think this is totally possible. And again, these countries are going to negotiate. You let my people in to work, and I'll give you permission to put a base on my property and operate it as long as you let our people come to your company, and not just anybody, and that we will work with you to make sure these people will return to our country. They will not stick around. We will do what we have to do. If we need to suspend their passport in order to convince them to come back home, that's what we'll do. And so that eliminates a lot of problems where we need skilled labor from different countries and are afraid to do it right now because we're afraid they're going to go hide somewhere, and it's a political issue. But if you make all these stipulations to ensure that we're not going to have a crisis of immigrants that come in here to work and then refuse to leave, then it's more viable, and it's liable to happen. So that's the second aspect of importation as a global conglomerate per se. So this is it for this video. It's a little bit shorter. I'm shaving. I got my hair cut. I'm wearing a jacket, but I'm still in this condominium in South America, and I've got a terrible background. I need to come up with a better idea for a background. So anyway, please like and subscribe and share if at all possible. And we'll be coming out with more videos, and I may come back and discuss more information about this particular domain, importation.com, but probably not for a while. Again, the price is $995,000 US, and this is June 2026. And January 1st, 2027, the price is going up $500,000, just as many of the domains do every year. Big million-dollar domains, they don't lower their prices year after year. They just keep raising it, and that's what we're doing. So January 1st, 1.5 million. Today, $995,000. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you can. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Bye.